Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome on back to the channel. So, a new dev diary has just released onto the Cities Skylines channel. Let's go ahead and take a look at it, shall we? Okay, so the dev diary here, it's going to be explaining about the modular airports. Now, just a quick disclaimer, there was a live stream that came up on the Cities Skylines channel just yesterday. So if you guys want to take a look at that, I will leave a link for it in the description. But we're going to be watching the trailer through once fully, and then we're going to go ahead and be breaking it down. So let's go and get straight on into it.
Hello, my name is Phil and I run the YouTube channel City Planner Plays. I'm a real-life city planner that loves playing Cities Skylines. Today I'm collaborating with Paradox Interactive to bring you a tutorial on modular airports that are included in the new Cities Skylines Airports DLC. I'm playing on PC, however this tutorial is applicable for all players, including those on console. The Airports DLC gives you the ability to create expansive airports that are tailored to your city's unique terrain or your own personal style. The airports are completely modular, meaning that no two airport builds will ever be alike. To begin, you'll need to identify the best location in your city for the airport. You'll want to take a look at the terrain to make sure that it's mostly suitable for an airport build. Remember that airports are generally very large. It may be helpful to pull a map of a local airport to get a feel for the scale of an airport, as well as some inspiration for the design. Once you've identified the ideal location for your airport, you'll need to paint an airport district. Unlike other districts in the game, an airport district flattens the terrain that it is painted on. Be sure to begin your district at the terrain height that you want the entire airport to reside at. If you run out of soil while flattening, or have excess soil that you need to get rid of, the DLC adds the ability to purchase or dispose of soil for a fee. Once you have cleaned up your terraforming, you're ready to begin your airport. Create a roadway connection that you can place your airport terminal on. Now go to the transport menu where you'll see a new tab called Airport Area. This tab contains all of the new airport DLC buildings. You will need to decide the style of airport you want to create: classic, modern, or ultra modern. The more luxurious the airport you decide to build, the more expensive the airport will be to construct. Once you have identified your airport style, you will be able to construct one of two small terminal options: a single-story terminal or a two-story terminal. I've decided to construct a single-story modern terminal. Placing this building will unlock concourses, control towers, runways and taxiways, aircraft stands, public transportation buildings, and decoration buildings. Bring utilities to the airport and you're ready to start building the airport of your dreams. Now you will construct a concourse from your terminal. The concourse provides you the ability to expand your airport in the future and provides a place to locate control towers and aircraft stands. Next, you'll build a runway within your airport area. This runway must be at least 25 units long. Once you have a runway, you'll need to connect it to your aircraft stands with taxiways. Taxiways are one-way roads, so you'll need to be strategic with their layout. The runway provides hints on where the taxiways are able to connect. Once the runway has been connected to the aircraft stands, your airport will begin to function. Airports must level up to unlock a number of buildings, including large terminals, large aircraft stands, unique buildings, concourse hubs, and cargo airports. We'll be covering this in the next video in the series, in which I will explain airport progression. But that's all for today.
Okay, that explains it really well. I really do like the way Phil explained that. So breaking the video down here, I'm actually going to video while I explain this a little bit. Let's see. Going back to where he started explaining the choice of area, go ahead and plan out. He kind of briefly touched on this. It's based. It has a real dimension to it, in my opinion. You don't necessarily see a lot of expansions now that go in and explain this, but this right here I do like. With the fact that the airport itself, you do when you're drawing the airport district. I know I'm like speaking so much right now, but still, when you're drawing the airport district, what it essentially, I love the fact that you're able to just go and smooth out the terrain, without any issues. But of course, you do have to go and worry about soil cap, because why wouldn't you? And then this right here, where you have to decide on your terminal. Not too bad. I do like the idea of having multiple terminals as well. And then the different styles right here: classic, modern, and super modern. I don't know why they went with that naming convention. It kind of seems a little bit. I don't know what to describe it, but I don't like the idea of saying it's super modern themed. No, I don't like that idea. It doesn't sound right to me. I wish they would have chosen a different name. It's just my personal opinion. Nothing crazy. But what is crazy is everything that is included in the DLC. This was something that I was speculating about in my update video that I posted last week. And the what I was speculating is that they would be adding in modular building dynamics, which obviously they have proven just that. I like the way that they are rolling with this, and especially with the way that you have to go ahead and draw out the district first, place down the buildings. It works in the same fashion as the industries buildings, works in the same fashion as the park life buildings. It also works in the same fashion as the campus buildings. So that's really interesting as far as what they decided to do there. Now, as far as to what I don't like, I kind of don't like the fact that it's kind of interesting for me to think about this. I wish that they would have had it. I don't know if they would explain it in a later video, but I'm suspecting that they would go ahead and include the fact that you need to have at least one aircraft or aircraft traffic control tower in order to operate your airport. That's just something that screams, hey, you need this for your airport to run. Granted, for those who aren't familiar, I am currently running a Sim Airport series, but the Sim Airport series works on a different dynamic based off of how it's built in the game engine. But the way that the game engine portrays airports DLC, I really just wish that they would go ahead and have like a message that would pop up if you try to place more than one air traffic control tower, because to me it doesn't make sense to have more than one air traffic control tower at a single airport, or at least whether it's international or not. You hardly ever, if at all, will see a air traffic control tower that is that has more than two towers with it, or more than two towers attached to the same concourse and to the same airport. I don't like that. It they might say mention something about that later on, but I wish that they would go ahead and include that, where it's just a limit of one air traffic control tower per like airport district or something like that. If you decide to have like multiple airport districts, you can have it across each of the airport districts. But that's besides the point. Let's continue on here. So he briefly explained the two different, so like classic and ultra here. I kind of do like that. Again, I really hope that they address this, where they limit it to one air traffic control tower per district or per airport district. Now, something that I am wanting to speculate on, I don't know if they're going to explain this in a later video, but if I recall correctly, I had shared on Twitter this post right here. You guys can kind of see it, my webcam being in the way, that is. This post right here on Twitter. Today, obviously being the 12th, we had the first dev diary being the modular airport buildings. On Friday, we have the airport progression and public air, transport links. City airline, that's something that I'm interested to see what they deal with. I'm going to be speculating here, and this is going a little bit off topic of the dev diary for today's video. But on Monday, I'm speculating that the city airline is referring to having local travel via airports. And I know that doesn't sound like something impressive, like, oh wait, you're able to go ahead and travel locally via like a blimp or a helicopter. What if people don't want to travel by that? What if you have people that are wanting to go from one side of the entire city all the way over to the complete opposite side? And that's too long of a bus ride, too long of a metro ride, too long of a train ride. What's an alternative? An alternative in this case would be having an airline, or not necessarily an airline, but more so a city airline. I'm suspecting that they are going to include something along the lines of like maybe like a city airline that is ran by the city. So like for instance, using the same sort of planner options that you have with blimps and helicopters and all the other different transport resources where you can go and create a line, and that line would go ahead and provide transportation between one airport and another airport in two completely different sections of the city. I would love to see that. But let's go ahead and continue with the video. So he provided the brief explanation of the single story and two-story variants of the buildings. I kind of do like this because this go ahead and provides you a little bit of the idea that, hey, you're going to have people that are going to be traveling and you might want to separate the travel between the two. One, so that way you're not clogging up stops for like when buses are coming into the terminal entrance. It will make it a lot easier for the passenger. Let's see here. Then briefly explains that he decided to go for a single story. Now, with this, he mentioned what is all unlocked when you place down that. This is something that I actually saw in the when I was doing the update video. This is interesting for me. A new bus station. I like this a lot, and it's a direct connect bus station to the airport terminal. Yes! Okay. Just having that fact alone, just having the fact that you're able to go ahead and connect your airport to your local bus system, whether it be by local buses or by express buses or even by airport shuttle buses. I hope that they have something like a variant of that included. Since, of course, I believe it was the, Sunset DLC? No, it was the Mass Transit DLC. The Mass Transit DLC, they included the option, no, it was the Campus DLC that they included that. The Campus DLC, they included the option for you to go ahead and select what type of bus you want running on your bus lines. And it was the same for trams. It was the same for all the different transport models. This is something that I'm going to like to see because that means you can have like a dedicated airport express going from like your downtown to your airport, because obviously, unless you're like JFK International, where it's literally less than like 10 miles or something like that away from downtown Manhattan, then most likely your airport's not going to be within close proximity for your tourists to be like, oh, I'm going to just take a quick taxi ride there. That's not going to happen. That's not going to happen. Even here in Omaha, like the airport, Eppley Airfield, granted, that's really close to downtown. But that was a city planner's purpose to have the airport close to downtown, because downtown is much more lively than it is anywhere else inside of the city. And that's what you really want to have. You want to have that direct connection from the airport to downtown, or maybe even your midtown, or maybe even like your business center or like an amusement park. Like for instance, the Parks DLC. Great connection to go and have a direct line going from your amusement park to the airport. Great connection idea. And I did not mean to go and press that. So I think that this is good. I really do like this. I hope that they go ahead and include it in the future. These hangars. I'm not 100% certain, but I want to say that these are operational, meaning that you can have planes go into those hangars and just park there for a period of time. I don't know if if they're including that, but I am guessing that based off of this schedule, they will be mentioning that at some point in time. Okay, so this is something obligatory. You have to go and connect it to your water and power grid. the Concourse feature, having it being a network, I think that's really interesting on the way that Colossal decided to go with that. Having networks for your concourse, that's really interesting. That's going to make for a lot of messing around with your airport designs. And I can guarantee you right now, also, I just forgot. Moving my camera back over to where it was at the beginning of the episode. There we go. Um, Having your concourse like this is going to create a lot of design opportunities for your modders, for your design enthusiasts, even for your standard city builders. The regular players that really don't play the game all that much, but they do like to hop in every once in a while. Like, I think that there still is somebody that is playing a game or playing one of their cities that was made back in 2015, around the time that game was released, and they've still been having the city work perfectly with no issues, which is surprising because there's been tons of updates that have messed with the game engine and that have messed with different transportation and different schematics within the game, different features as well. Let's see. What else are we looking at here? Of course, the air traffic control tower. He decides to place down two. I kind of don't like that idea. Now this, he said that the minimum runway length is 25 units. So if you take a look here, and I'm gonna try and zoom in the best that I can, in post that is. If you take a look here, 25 units is just this length right here. That, I don't know if it's just me, but that seems short for a runway. It really does. I don't think that's. I think that's not on purpose, but I don't think that's. I think that is really short for a runway. I don't like that. I wish that they would have said like maybe your minimum requirement is closer to like 30 units or 35. Maybe I'm just being a hypocritical about it, but 25 seems a little bit deteriorating for me. Let's see. What else does he mention? Also, the fact that there are one ways. And I like this part right here, that you have runway lights on this side of the actual runway. Now, this is just my own interpretation talking here. But in a realistic airport, you don't have one-way runways. Your runways operate bidirectionally because of the fact that wind currents can go ahead and change at any given point in time. So you want to be able to have your planes land in either direction. That way you're not having to force them to go with a tailwind and potentially fly off course and end up causing tremendous amounts of damage. I wish that they would have mentioned that, or at least included that in some way, but unfortunately, I guess they did not. Might be my own like personal judgment here, but I really wish that they would have made that two-way instead of one-way. One thing I will also mention is that it looks like they're using the same like networking mechanics as like the airport roads mod. For those that don't know what that mod is, I'll just quickly search it up here on oh, Steam Workshop is apparently shut down. Okay, Steam Workshop, you are being stupid right now. Well then. Are you not working? Okay, I'll worry about that later. I'll most likely add it into post, but there is the airport roads mod, and you're able to go and draw your own airports and your own or not airports, but your own runways and your own taxiways. That's kind of like the poor man's version of the airports DLC, if you will. I don't mind. It's not a big deal, to be honest with you. Let's go ahead and speed this along real quick. The same guide functions that are included that was introduced back in, I believe, mass transit, where they had the road network guides. That makes it a lot better. Also, the fact that what we can already see right here, I'm kind of interested to see why they decided to go with, why do you need an attractiveness score? I don't know if it's just me, but why does that matter for an airport? If it's just me, why would it matter to have an attractiveness score for an airport? It doesn't make sense. At least not in my perspective. If you have an opinion on the matter, go ahead and leave it in the comments so that way maybe we can go and discuss it a bit further. But I just don't think that airports really need an attractiveness score. It doesn't seem right. Again. But then having the level cap for an airport be 3, that's not bad because that's kind of giving a hierarchy a little bit. You have your small aircraft terminal or airport terminal, which is the one that he uses. Then you have your, I think it's like the municipal one, where it's no matter what, it's a 2-story. But the municipal airport one is like level 2, I believe, and then like international. And I'm only guesstimating here. I'm not 100% certain. So I'm just guesstimating. But level 3, I think, is then reaching international. So you're no longer capped at having to reach a certain population regarding getting the international airport, especially the one that comes from the After Dark DLC. But that will be interesting to play around with. And this is just the end of the video. Now, this is something that I actually saw in the trailer. And I think that's exactly what this is. If we take a look here, I think this is just like an airport or aeronautics museum. I really do think that's interesting. I like that idea a lot. And then having this slip lane road for the buses coming down here to the airport terminal, I like that. I like that a lot. He did go and use that design purpose, I'd say. Cargo airports. Now, they did mention on the live stream that you can go ahead and integrate your cargo airport with your passenger airport. I like that concept a lot because you commonly do see airports that use the same runway, the same taxiways to accommodate both cargo and passenger travel via air. I do like that because, for example, the airport here in Omaha, Eppley Airfield, they have a cargo terminal, literally like not even about 2 miles from the actual terminal entrance. Like if I were to just take a look at Eppley Airfield. Yep. I'm just gonna go ahead and pull it up on Google Maps so that way you guys can see. So, simply said, this is the terminal terminal building for the airfield. Just going a little bit ways up this way, you got UPS and you got FedEx up here. And I believe over here on this side is mostly just the municipal side. Or not municipal, but the regional aircrafts. So like signature flight support. Yeah. So Aeroflight, what the heck is that? Freight forwarding service. So that's like a logistics company. So yeah, that's Eppley Airfield. Go back to this. Okay, yeah, as I mentioned, I really do like that idea of having the aircrafts or airlines using this. And this new road type right here, what is that meant to do? I don't know what that is, but it seems interesting. Ah, I kind of like that. That might be able to have it so that way you can integrate a connection. And in fact, that actually looks like what they're doing right over here. You can integrate a connection from your cargo airport or cargo planes to your standard roads without having like a terminal building or at all. That's interesting because that shows a realism factor. And having that distinguished by these roads right here, that does put a different perspective on the matter. Different perspective indeed. It looks like we do also have new aircraft fences here. And I do like how they have like these warning signs on the fence line. I like that detail. So looking back over here, this looks like it's a larger version of what this road is. And it looks like you can go and integrate it to your train connection, which I like the idea of that. Having it's kind of mimicking what you can do with industries, where you can have a cargo airport connected to your trains, but this is putting it into a different perspective. You can have your cargo airport connected to your trains through a modular setting. I like that. I like that a lot, actually. And then this is just the cinematics reel of your airport that he did. I think we're gonna be getting a few good things here. I like that. I like that a lot. Anyway, I think this video has gone on long enough. We have already gone on for about 25 minutes here dissecting this video. If you guys do like this video, go ahead and hit the like button. If you at least have watched this far into the video, taking a look at it, please go and hit the like button. Helps me out a ton, lets me know you want to see more of these videos. And make sure to go and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. And I will check you guys for the next Dev Diaries. Ciao for now.